We are here in the Nina Mason Pulliam Indianapolis Special Collections Room at Central Library, which plays host to a wide array of local historical and cultural items, including a recent acquisition of editorial cartoons by Charles Werner. Chris Marshall of the ISCR is with us to tell us about Charles Werner and to show us some of his historic cartoons. Chris, thanks for joining us. Tell us about who Charles Werner was.
Well, Charles Werner was a very well-known editorial cartoonist for the Indianapolis Star. Now, he didn't start his career there, but he came to Indianapolis in 1947 and then worked for the Star until his retirement in 1994. So a very, over 40 years
47 years.
47 years worth of editorial cartoons. He is also known for being the youngest, at the age of 29 in 1937, recipient of the Pulitzer Prize for editorial cartoons. We can't take that claim to fame. Oklahoma City gets that because he was working for the Oklahoman at the time. But that was like the prestigious, the highest honor for an editorial cartoonist was to get the Pulitzer Prize. And that's what he did, and he even was 29 years old at the time. So he left Oklahoma and went to Chicago to work for the Chicago Sun, which went bankrupt in the late 40s, and that's why he ended up in Indianapolis in 47. So Werner's works ranged, he did a variety of topics. He became well known nationally and internationally and worked with a lot of presidents, doing editorial cartoons for presidents. So Lyndon Johnson, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, Harry Truman, and his cartoons are across the country throughout collections and that. So.
Before we cite a couple of great examples of his works, let's talk about what actually people can find here in the Indianapolis Special Collections Room. They are available for public viewing, correct?
They are almost ready to be used by the public if they want to come in and take a look at them. We are currently working on the collection, getting it inventoried, so soon, hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have a great inventory that people can research in-house. We, because of copyright issues, are not able to digitize this, but we want to make it available for people to use. So you can come here to the Indianapolis room. It'd probably be best to make an appointment beforehand. Let us know you want to come and take a look at some of them. Eventually, we'll have probably some exhibits throughout the building, maybe on him. We just haven't gotten to that level yet, but we're just very excited about this collection and wanted to get it out there that we have this.
Good. Chris Marshall with the Indianapolis Special Collections Room talking about the works of Charles Werner, and we have some great examples here that show his national contributions, local contributions. Tell us what we're seeing here.
Sure, these are some examples that we have. This one is a fantastic example of some of his work. This is advertising the Indiana State Fair. He's entitled it The Nation's Showcase. This was done in 1971, and you can just see the detail and work that went into this. He was a really great artist. He worked in ink and graphite. This one happens to be one of the graphite, but you can just see all the detail that he has. And this is highlighting a local event. And this is a very positive one. Some of them weren't as positive. Werner himself is quoted as saying, "A cartoon must be based on fact. It must be direct and critical, using satire and ridicule as a base. Cartoons of aberration are rarely, if ever, successful." So this shows one of his really nice ones. This one is just very current event-ish with all the rain that we are having this summer. This is 1973. It must have been a really rainy time of the year. This was in March, and you can see we have a golfer here. Here's his golf clubs back here, and it just continues.
It's entitled "Aw Dry Up."
Yes, it just continues to rain, and he's not been able to get out
and then some on the national level.
Some on the national level. This is May of 1973 when Watergate hit. This one's entitled "It's Getting Wider and Deeper." And here we see Uncle Sam, and I'm not sure who the other man is supposed to be, but this is a Watergate example. He was also known nationally, or internationally I mean, This is heavier all the time. Queen Elizabeth's $522,000 pay raise. Here you see the crown with all of his jewels, and here you see the overtaxed subjects, and here's this poor guy underneath the crown. So,
well, the intricacy of his art really stands out.
Yes.
And it really probably is a sign of the times.
Yes.
How this kind of work was featured often on the front page of a newspaper, not just back in the editorial section.
Right, right. For a long time, the editorial cartoon was on the front page of the Indianapolis Star.
Very good. Now you have not only his collection of works, some other very unique items, the Pulitzer Prize itself, correct?
We do. We have the actual Pulitzer Prize. We also have some of his Freedom Foundation awards. He won 7 of them, so we have those. We have a grouping of cartoons that were done by other editorial cartoonists that were given to him, signed to him. We also have a ton of scrapbooks. We have an entire run of those. So, and then we have well over 3,000 of his cartoons.
Very fascinating. We look forward to seeing the entire collection as the year unfolds. Make an appointment to come to the Indianapolis Special Collections Room here on the 6th floor, talk to Chris, view the works of Charles Werner here at the Indianapolis Public Library.